A connected trail network, what the real solution looks like, and what Baden-Württemberg keeps refusing to build. If Baden-Württemberg was serious about mountain biking, the debate would not be illegal or legal. The debate would be, how do we build a system that actually works? Published by Radical Life Studios and the MTB report. Because that's what's missing. And when a state refuses to build a functioning system, it gets exactly what it deserves: shadow use. Now comes the practical part. What must a connected trail network deliver if it's supposed to reduce conflict, protect nature, and still be usable in real life? Not as a club playground, not as pilot projects on probation, as infrastructure, as normal as hiking paths, just built for the reality of 2026. First, a network is not a spot. A network is connection. The biggest lie in many legalization approaches is this: approve a few trails and pretend the use is now managed. No. Management starts when people can actually move from A to B without being pushed into legal gray zones every few minutes. A trail network works like a road network. It lives on connections. That's why it's not enough to legalize a single downhill line that ends in nowhere land. A real network needs main corridors, the arteries, natural connectors, the capillaries, and clearly defined zones where it doesn't belong. This isn't anarchy, it's order. Just the kind of order that functions in reality. Second, corridors beat chaos, the most important concept in the whole model. A corridor is a defined space of use, not a point, a line, a route through the forest. It concentrates use instead of scattering it. And that is conservation at its most practical, if you concentrate use. The rest of the forest gets more quiet. If you just ban broadly, use becomes invisible and dispersed, and you lose steering. Corridors only work if they're attractive, otherwise people ignore them, logical, otherwise shortcuts appear, robust by design, otherwise erosion wins, and clearly communicated, otherwise nobody knows the rules. Third, quiet zones, breeding zones, seasonal zones. Conservation improves when it gets specific. Let me be blunt. Protect nature as a blanket slogan is cheap. Conservation works when it becomes spatially and seasonally specific. That means sensitive areas are clearly routed around. Critical periods, breeding, fawning, winter quiet, come with seasonal rules. And where it's truly sensitive, it's simply off limits. But here's the key. This is only accepted when the counterpart exists. A network that still works. Without alternatives, it feels like punishment. With alternatives, it feels like responsible shared use. Fourth, shared trails are not an experiment. They're the default. The typical German reflex is we must separate users or there will be conflict. I think that's wrong. Separation can make sense in hotspots, yes. But in forests, shared trail is the norm. Not bikers versus hikers, but people sharing space with respect. What it needs is not romance. It needs standards. Match your speed to the situation. Respect sightlines. Slow down in encounters. Communicate. Step off if needed. Ditch the main character attitude. Whether you're on two wheels or on foot, that's not soft. That's what prevents conflict before it starts. Fifth, trail design. Damage isn't caused by bikes. It's caused by stupid building. If you want conservation and trails to coexist, you must be honest about practice. Most long-term damage is not because a bike exists. It's because lines are badly chosen, water isn't managed, braking zones are left to rot, and people ride sensitive soil when it's wet because no framework exists. A good network includes sensible line choice, controlled braking zones, water management where needed, and clear wet condition rules for certain segments. It sounds technical. It's actually simple. If you build smart, you get fewer conflicts and less damage. Sixth, steering needs accountability, not just signs. Signs alone are like laws without enforcement and culture, nice on paper, useless in practice. A functioning network needs clear points of contact, forestry, municipality or coordination unit, a reporting loop. This is damaged. This is a conflict spot. This is wildlife quiet time. And visible willingness to fix problems rather than just ban them. If nobody is reachable, shadow use becomes inevitable. Seventh, the political point. Baden-Württemberg must switch from exception mode to system mode. And here's the wake-up slap, intentionally. If a state keeps pretending a connected trail network is impossible, that's not conservation success. That's management failure. Reality is already here. Mountain biking grew, outdoor use grew, digital navigation is everyday life. You can't regulate that back into the past. You can only shape it. My demand, in one sentence, Baden-Württemberg needs a connected, shared trail network with corridors, clear protection and seasonal zones, and steering that works in real life, not only in paperwork. And anyone still saying this can't be done really means we don't want to do it.